This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
A Torah Anytime original series.
I just passed through the city of Roanoke, Virginia, and it immediately brought me back to something that happened here years ago, back when I was in high school. I had a friend, my chavrusa at the time, who had a stutter, and he struggled with it deeply. He tried everything he could to fix it: speech therapy, exercises, practice, and nothing really worked. And at some point he heard that a world-renowned expert who worked with people who stutter would be coming to Roanoke, Virginia, and he would meet with small groups privately to help them. So my friend made a decision. He packed a suitcase, he went alone, he checked into a motel here in Roanoke, and he spent a few days meeting with this expert trying to figure out how to get rid of his stutter. Now back in yeshiva, a friend and I heard that he was there by himself, a teenager in a motel, struggling and alone in a city he didn't know, and something in us said, we have got to go visit him. So I said to my friend, let's go. And he looks at me and he says, what do you mean, let's go? We're in yeshiva, you could just leave, that's bittul Torah. And I remember thinking about it for a second, and I said, okay, well, let's go ask one of our rebbeim. So we went over and we asked if we should go. Is it bittul Torah? And I'll never forget the answer my Rebbe gave us. He looked at us and he said, bittul Torah? This is Torah. Going to visit him isn't learning Torah, it's living it. So we rented a car and we drove. We brought him a cake, nothing fancy, just something to show up with. And we surprised him, and I still remember his face, the relief, the happiness, just knowing he wasn't alone in that motel room in Roanoke. And we spent the day together in a park, eating and laughing and just being there for him. And then it was time to go back, and we got into the car late at night, exhausted, and my friends are falling asleep in the back seat. And as I drive back to yeshiva, I remember sitting there driving in silence. And I could still hear my Rebbe's voice in my head. This isn't learning Torah, it's living it. You see, sometimes people make a mistake. They split life into two separate worlds. There's learning Torah, and then there's living life. When I'm in the Beis Medrash, that's Torah. When I step outside, that's life. But that division is completely wrong. Because Torah is not something we do in one room and then put it down when we leave it. Torah is almanas lasos. It's meant to shape who you become. If you're learning Torah intensely, but you're a rotten potato outside the Beis Medrash, there's something about your limud Torah that is off. Because Torah isn't a spiritual exercise that we perform because Hashem said so. Torah is the most powerful system in existence to refine a human being, to turn you into the ambassadors of Hashem in this world. There's no time of the year that this idea can be more important than the days of Sfira. Sfira, we count the days between Pesach and Shavuos, not just as a timeline, but as a transformation, from leaving Mitzrayim to becoming a nation capable of receiving Torah. And we mark that counting period with Sfira, the tragedy of the Talmidim of Rabbi Akiva not being mechabed their friends properly. The tragedy of the Talmidim of Rabbi Akiva is not just historical, it's eternal, because it's reminding us we march towards Shavuos, that you can be a Talmud Chacham immersed in Torah all day long and still fail the most basic test of Torah itself, and that is having good midos. Learning Torah but being an arrogant, uncompassionate, selfish slob is not a contradiction you can live with. Because Torah without good midos is Torah completely misunderstood. Torah is supposed to humble you. If someone claims to have learned a lot of Torah and yet is arrogant and condescending and inconsiderate, stay away, because something in that picture is broken. Real Torah doesn't make you louder, it makes you softer. It doesn't make you superior, it makes you more responsible. It doesn't pull you away from people, it pulls you deeper into them. And that's what I learned in Roanoke, that sometimes the greatest Torah moment is not the one in the Beis Medrash at all. Sometimes it's sitting in a park with a friend who's struggling and realizing that this is exactly what Hashem wanted all along. It's not Torah being learnt, it's Torah being lived.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.